They began banging at our front door. Flashlights shot streaks of gleam up and down the walls, across the yard, down the walk between our house and Botwell's. Open up, cried a hoarse voice. We are men from headquarters. I wanted to go down and let them in, since there they were. But mother wouldn't hear of it. You haven't a stitch on, she pointed out. You would catch your death. I wound the towel around me again. Finally, the cops put their shoulders to our big, heavy front door with its thick, beveled glass and broke it in. I could hear a rending of wood and a splash of glass on the floor of the hall. Their lights played all over the living room and crisscrossed nervously in the dining room, stabbed into hallways, shot up the front stairs, and finally up the back. They caught me standing in my towel at the top. A heavy policeman bounded up the steps. Who are you? He demanded. I live here, I said. The officer in charge reported to mother. No sign of nobody, lady, he said. Must have got away. What would he like? There were 2 or 3 of them, mother said, whooping and carrying on, slamming doors. Funny, said the cop. All, yeah. Windows and doors was locked on the inside, tight as a tick. Downstairs, we could hear the tromping of the other police. Police were all over the place. Doors were yanked open. Drawers were yanked open. Windows were shot up and pulled down. Furniture fell with dull thumps. A half-dozen policemen emerged out of the darkness of the front hallway upstairs. They began to ransack the floor, pulled beds away from walls, tore clothes off hooks in the closets, pulled suitcases and boxes off shelves. One of them found an old zither that Roy had won in a pool tournament. Look here, Joe, he said, stumming it with a big paw. The cop named Joe took it and turned it over. What's it? He asked me. It's an old zither our guinea pig used to sleep on. I said, it was true that a pet guinea pig we once had would never sleep anywhere except on the zither. But I should never have said so. Joe and the other cop looked at me long time. They put the zither back on a shelf. No sign of nothing, said the cop, who had first spoken to mother. The lady seems hysterical. They all nodded, but said nothing. Just looked at me. In the small silence, we all heard a creaking in the attic. Grandfather was turning over in bed. What's that? Snapped Joe. 5 or 6 cops sprang for the attic door before I could intervene or explain. I realized that it would be bad if they burst in on grandfather unannounced or even announced. He was going through a phase in which he believed that General Meade's men, under steady hammering by Stonewall Jackson, were beginning to retreat and even desert. When I got to the attic, things were pretty confused. Grandfather had evidently jumped to the conclusion that the police were deserters from Meade's army, trying to hide away in his attic.